Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is January the 27th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Monday. Hopefully you got that lasagna. Hopefully things were very Garfield for you today. We got up. We got to work. It wasn't too cold. It was cold enough to have the heat on, obviously. But I mean, I think it climbed up from like the teens to the 30s. I think it might have even hit the 40s at one point. So, for a Midwestern winter, we'll take that. We will take that. Also, very slow day. We love that. Not so slow that I got any real break time or like wasn't hanging out in maintenance. But, slow enough that I wasn't like overwhelmed. So, once again, we take those. Let's see here. Gym went well. No complaints, no problems there. And let's see. Let's go ahead and take it back to yesterday for the food corner, which I gotta say, it was a good scran meal. I don't. Maybe it's not scran in the UK actually. Maybe this isn't a scran meal, but it felt like scran to me. I made 2 baked potatoes, and by baked I mean I put them in the air fryer. Which I gotta say, that was my first time making air fried potatoes. Very good, very yummy. I made them 2 ways. One with chili and the other way with tuna. Now, I know, I'm sure some people are like, what? Ew, huh? And don't get me wrong, I was the same way last year, y'all. But I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I've seen some like TikToks of the chaps over in the across the pond in the UK, and they're over here putting tuna on their potatoes. And I was like, okay, I've never had a spud with tuna on top, so I gotta see what the hype is about. Is it worth it? Is it good? So I finally got to try it yesterday, and the verdict is in. It's yummy. It's actually pretty freaking good. I had, like I said, one with tuna, one with chili. Both went over gangbusters. I put in some bacon as well. I had some sour cream on there. I had some onions, some peppers. Like it was a chef's kiss. With a couple pieces of bread just to kind of have something to pair with it. But oh man, it actually went over gangbusters for me, and I was like kind of shocked that the combination of a cold tuna and a hot potato just actually worked. So kudos to the blokes over in the UK. I don't know if they came up with it first, but that's where I saw it. So shout out to the Spud Bros, or whoever they are who are making all those spuds over in UK. Anyway, that's all for the blogging section for me. Let me go ahead and do my startup, and we'll go and get into some news. Ooh-wee. Speaking of baked, all right. Whew. From Axios, Trump pausing Colombia tariffs after migrants deal, White House says. President Trump won't impose tariffs on Colombia after the government agreed to accept all of his terms, including receiving Colombians deported from the U.S. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced Sunday night. So this is an update from yesterday. This took place like after recording, like later Sunday night. Gustavo Petro, I think I'm getting his name wrong. Forgive me. Gustavo Petro essentially said, okay, we can bring a presidential, our presidential plane. We can escort them. We just don't. We want it to be humane. And I can completely understand that. For Trump, I think he just wanted the capitulation, hence why he issued the tariffs the way that he did, as well as like travel bans, sanctions, and he's essentially the administration said, okay, fine, we'll put it on hold, but if you do this again, if you hold this up again, then we'll reintroduce them. So that's the situation at play right now between Colombia and the U.S. Let's move on to from an article from CNN, CNN World, whatever. Palestinians finally returning to devastated northern Gaza after ceasefire dispute delay. Tens of thousands of displaced Palestinians began returning home to northern Gaza on Monday, bracing for what awaits them in a region that has been reduced to rubble by months of brutal bombardment and fighting. Israel opened a corridor in the north of the Gaza Strip on Monday, 48 hours later than initially planned. It blamed the delay on Hamas, saying the militant group breached the terms of the ceasefire agreement that guaranteed people would be able to return to the north. So this surrounds Arbel Yahud. She was supposed to be released, I believe, with the last 4 hostages. And essentially, Hamas said, okay, we don't have her. It's another faction, I believe, the Palestinian Jihad. It's just another group within, kind of almost like a subsidiary or affiliate, if you will. We're trying to get this person, though. And essentially, Israel's like, nope, that's not the deal. So until you do, we are stopping people from coming in. And there was reports of shots being fired, barricades being put up. The picture I have in the thumbnail is literally just a bunch of people who are masked with their whole families, remaining families, if you will. In a lot of these cases, all their remaining belongings that they've had or been able to carry and keep along the way, they're bringing it back because they're trying to go home. And essentially, you're stuck here in this situation now in a new limbo, and you can't progress. And what, are you gonna go back? So you're stuck here. And essentially, Hamas and Israel were able to come to a full agreement again on this part of the phase, which I think we're still on the first phase. I don't even think we're on the second phase yet. But essentially, it's okay, we will get you, Yahud. I initially heard by Friday, but it looks like it's not going to be Friday. Or, hold on. It might be Thursday or Saturday. Hamas then agreed to release more hostages, including Yahud, on Thursday and Saturday. So it looks like they've at least agreed again, and it looks like things are resuming. So that's overall good. I wanted to add, though, this comes on the back. I guess Trump was at coming off of Air Force One or some shit, and he added some statements that definitely have fueled some fire. Let's see. Escalated tensions over Yahud's release had threatened to derail the already fragile truce. They heightened further on Saturday after President Trump said he had discussed his plan to clean out Gaza with the King of Jordan and intended to raise the matter with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The U.S. president said he would like both Jordan and Egypt, which borders Gaza, to house hundreds of thousands of Palestinians either temporarily or long-term, telling reporters on board Air Force One, because I'm looking at the whole Gaza Strip right now, and it's a mess. It's a real mess. It's literally a demolition site right now. So this is very much akin to, very much, I don't need to add these filler words, it's ethnic cleansing. You're gussying it up in a way that you're doing someone a favor or something like that, but that's not what this is. It is essentially a complete abandonment of a two-state solution. It is saying we're completely just saying, hey, we're going to uproot these people, take them away from the homes that they want to be in. They want to be here. Through it all, they want to be in their home, which Israel has been trying to take away so they can just fucking plow it over and make a fucking Pizza Hut and a nice beachside property or some fucking shit. And Trump, the real estate guy, I guess feels like, yeah, it's just a simple matter of that. And if we could just make that happen, everyone would be happy in the end. But truthfully, no one would be happy in the end. The Palestinians would be mad. The nation states of Jordan and Egypt both do not want this to happen, because essentially you're going to have now angry refugees, people who do not want to be here in your state, in your country. That's not what they want. And not to mention, that's not what should be agreed upon at all. I think everyone in the Middle East is very well aware of the score here. And they're like, no, the Palestinians should have their own fucking land. They should, you took land for them and now you're trying to take more land. This is crazy. This is insane. So, I mean, here we are with Trump saying, hey, I'm willing to lead the parade. I'm going to ask both these guys, to maybe just give it up. Let's make it happen. But, that did not go over well with anyone, and I don't think it will. But that being said, it's just one of those things where it just, you see him giving the game away. Not that this is exclusively, a conservative Republican ideal or thought. I mean, we've literally had, Biden handling this shit, and, we've seen the fucking fruit that bared, or lack thereof, or the. Anyway. So, I mean, this is an important development for him to say this shit, so I felt really compelled to mention it. Let's see. I don't think there was really anything else I wanted to add from this article. No, I think we can go ahead and just move along. But yeah, moving on to the BBC. All we can hear are gunshots. DR Congo fighting as it happened. So this is from an update ticker. So we'll just read some points here. Rebels from the Congolese M23 movement say they have taken control of the eastern city of Goma, following a lightning advance against the army. Heavy artillery and gunfire has been heard in the besieged city throughout the day. At least 13 peacekeepers have been killed in clashes with the rebels. Fighting between the M23 and the Democratic Republic of Congo's army has intensified since the start of the year, with the rebels seizing control of even more territory than ever. Kenyan's president says his Congolese and Rwandan counterparts have agreed to an emergency summit on Wednesday. Goma, which borders Rwanda, is a vital trading and transport hub with over 1 million residents. At the UN Security Council, the US, France, and UK said Rwandan troops were supporting the M23. Rwanda has previously denied this. So, sadly, a grim update coming out of the Congo, but definitely a major development in terms of just with the rebels making this kind of big move. It's something I kind of heard here and there, I want to say over the past, few days, maybe. But I was like, okay, definitely it seems to have hit a certain kind of pitch where I feel like it's worth definitely updating. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame that all these kind of things are always happening, and they never stop. It doesn't matter whether or not, the news is actually giving you an update, or I'm giving you a fucking update on it, whatever the fuck, it is a constant thing. And when I really dwell on it, that shit is just like, it's the void. That's the abyss shit, it sucks. Because I know just talking about it doesn't do anything, obviously. And, you're going to have these, these summits and these conversations, but it just seems like it's always an ongoing, constant thing. Another area that I know I mentioned, but often don't get to it, I feel like as much as I should, is, the situation in Sudan with the Sudanese army and the RSF. I know that's not going too great either, but once again, I haven't heard too many updates recently, so I don't really have too much to really say unless I went a digging, went a researching. So, but here we are, try to give the updates when I can, as best I can. Let's move on to our last story, though. We're going to get digital. We got to talk about some fucking AI slap season. It's forever, y'all. It's the era. It's the time. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break, and we'll go ahead and close it out. It's about to get deep. Excuse me. Oh, man. Okay. From the Hill. Deepseek's rise spooks investors, threatens to upend AI. The rise in popularity of a high-performing and cheaply built Chinese artificial intelligence model has shaken the confidence of investors, while raising larger questions about the future of American-made AI and upping the stakes of Washington's tech rivalry with Beijing. Let me ask y'all a question, just real quick. Do you guys think about AI and have concerns, or like not even concerns, but like what's the word I'm looking for, like preference, or do you feel a certain kind of like that's our thing when like AI is mentioned, like when I say Chat GPT, when I say Open AI, do you feel any kind of like, I guess, instilled patriotism in the idea that like, yeah, that's American made, like it's a fucking Ford car, like does it matter to you? It doesn't matter to me at all. It never fucking has. But I obviously get in terms of like this AI arms race that's at play. We want to be the top dogs in terms of Americans. Like we want to have the best, the highest performing, the most efficient AI. Like that's what we're in this for. That's why everyone's blowing all this fucking money. That's why fucking Nvidia's making all this money off of fucking chips, because they have the fucking pickaxes, they have the fucking shovels to the gold mine that is AI. They're the way, they're the tools. But essentially, with this Deepseek shit, it's taking over because it was made with a fraction of the cost. At least that's what's being said. Let's actually keep reading. DeepSeek's new AI model has taken the internet by storm, sparking a significant sell-off in the tech sector as investors fear the billions of dollars U.S. firms have invested into AI infrastructure may be unnecessary. It's almost like some shit that I've been saying, because I've heard this before. It's not like I cooked this fucking idea up on my own, but essentially going all in on AI, like all these fucking tech companies, all these big fucking tech companies, even like small ones, are making these all in gambits saying we need to fully convert our shit to AI, or our shit needs to be like making the best AI fucking software. Like one of the fucking two, right? And you're just seeing AI everywhere, which is eventually either leads to some kind of fucking slop or some like interesting or useful nuance, but it's not like a major overhaul thing. It's just something that streamlines the process, and that's the good shit. But the slop shit is not what you want, and it's just the biggest fucking turnoff when it comes to fucking AI. But that's neither here nor there. Essentially, it's so much money. Billions of dollars has been invested into this. I think Trump, I actually have this queued up. Trump isn't planning on investing $500 billion into AI. With like American companies, essentially trying to combat this. Like he's essentially saying, hey, Biden didn't do enough to curtail this. He was trying to, but he was also hindering AI at home, and I'm going to unleash AI at home. We're going to be the biggest. We're going to be the boldest, the best, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but China just came out with some shit for less. And like if it actually is matching what ChatGPT can do, then it's going to probably say above ChatGPT in terms of the app because it's free. And I mean, we'll see though in terms of like, okay, this is R1, right? There's going to be more models of this. Are they going to charge for those? And if so, I imagine they're going to probably sell it for cheap. That's not what you want to see if you're open AI. That's not what you want to see if you're, American investors, you're holding stock right now. That's bad. So that's why people are like instantly kind of freaking out right now, because they're like, oh shit, we need to reinvest. We need to like move this money around, because it's crazy how everything, like I just said, is so invested in AI. If you're playing and putting your money into tech, there is a strong portion of that is going to AI. I've like really not heard anything of worth or merit that isn't AI when it comes out of tech. And it's frustrating to me because it's like, and people have been saying this, I'm sure, for like over like a decade or so, but this innovation really has been kind of fucking dead. Like we're not doing anything. Like we spent an era trying to like just make social medias and like do Facebooks into Twitters, into TikToks, whatever. And it's almost like I feel like we've hit that ceiling with that shit, and you can kind of keep making them, but they're not being any bigger and they're not making you enough fucking money, right? Well, okay, we can now invest in this AI shit. We can keep trying to, hold the market with these chips and all this kind of fucking shit, and we can try to stop China from really getting access to them. But essentially with something like DeepSeek, they were able to use it with lesser chip models. Now that's not 100% confirmed, and I think there's people who are trying to naysay that on the American side that are mentioned throughout this fucking article. But at the end of the day, if there's proof in the fucking pudding with this DeepSeek shit, and it really does usurp OpenAI, really puts it on its heels, it just completely disrupts this whole notion that you can put all your eggs in this AI fucking basket and ride the wave for the rest of the shit and live happily ever after. Like, no, motherfucker, you're gonna have to actually get up and like do some ingenuity. I don't know what to fucking tell you. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are saying at this point, motherfucker, AI is too big to fail. Who gives a shit? And they're probably right too. They're probably more right than me at the end of the day. Like, there's so many people who are invested in this shit. Someone's going to, like, people are going to make some money, right? But there's also going to be people who are going to eat their fucking shirt over this shit. So, I mean, good luck with that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I didn't necessarily want to talk about Deepseek, and I was like, I just kept seeing it. And I'm like, damn, it hasn't even been 24 hours since I like started seeing this shit, and it's already being talked about a lot. So like, let me just hop on the wave. Let me just plug in. Now, am I going to download it? No. If you've seen one AI thing, you've seen 1,000 of them. It feels like already. It's not that interesting to me to talk to a bot. Like, you can just do that in so many ways already. I don't need to put another app on my phone right now, so I'm good. But if anyone is out there who has tried Deepseek, let me know, and maybe I might change my mind. I think I kind of said that with RedNote, and then I downloaded it, and I was like, okay. So yeah, I mean, that's where I want to leave it for today, though. I feel like I've yapped enough. I feel good. I feel satisfied. If you'd like to help out the effort, support, become a newsie today, patreon.com/Isaiah News. Let's see, free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. That's a free way to help out the effort, help the algo, the little AI bots or whatever, get some more clicks, get you, up to date with me or whatever. That's nice, right? Leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. And I mean, you can do that on any platform. I appreciate any of the TikTokers who leave comments. See you, mom. Love you, mom. And the homies, I appreciate that. I appreciate the people who hit the like I said, on any of it, Spotify, whatever. It's cool that you do it. It's cool that you tune in. It's cool that if you've made it this far, if you're a repeated listener who makes it all the way to the end, like, let me know that, like, you get a fist bump for that if you do. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. It's crazy that you're watching this little Marvel movie that is the Isaiah's Newsstand to see if there's going to be any extra, like, thing I'm going to say or do at the end. Am I going to bust out a shawarma and just start eating it? You are the ones who are going to find out, and I appreciate you for that. You're a real one for that. So yeah, hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.